Good morning, students. I am Dr. M. Srilata, lecturer in English, Government Polytechnic, Warangal. Welcome to Basic and Advanced English video lessons. In these video lessons, we are learning about various vocabulary related lessons. So, the first lesson in the previous videos, I explained about confusing words in different series and also how to use dictionary, antonyms and synonyms. To improve your vocabulary, you need to know certain idioms. In today's session, you are going to learn about idioms. Before going in detail about idioms, the outcomes of this video are: on completing this lesson, you will be able to know the meaning of idioms. You will be able to understand the purpose of idioms, and you will be able to learn the usage of idioms. Every language has its own unique collection of sayings and phrases. These expressions often contain meanings that may not be obvious by simply looking at the individual words contained therein. We call these expressions idioms. An idiom can be a phrase, or it is a saying, or it is a combination of group of words that has metaphorical meaning. That means it is not a literal meaning which has become accepted in common usage. An idiom's symbolic sense is quite different from the literal meaning. The literal meaning of the idiom is completely different from the usage. A definition of the words which it is made is different from the literal or usage. There are a large number of idioms and they are used very commonly in all languages. There are estimated to be at least 25,000 idiomatic expressions in the English language. Idioms evolve the language. Without idioms, we cannot find the language. They are the building blocks of a language and civilization. They also have great intensity to make a language interesting and dynamic. The idioms make the language interesting. They bring a spectacular illustration to everyday speech. They provide interesting insights into the use of words, languages, and thought process of their speakers. They have a sense of mystery and fun about them. What is an idiom? An idiom is a widely used saying or expression that contains a figurative meaning that is different from the phrases literally mean. For example, if you say you are feeling under the weather, if you say I am feeling under the weather, what is the literal meaning of this sentence? That means you are standing under the rain. So the literal meaning of under the weather is you are standing under the rain. But what does the idiom under the weather, universally understood, is that means to sick. That means sick or ill, being sick or being ill. Understood? The literal meaning of under the weather is standing under the rain. But all the people, they use this phrase or idiom to mean to be sick or to be ill. Idioms often summarize or reflect a commonly held cultural experience. Even if that experience is now out of date or antiquated. For instance, you might say that someone should bite the bullet. So, this is the popular idiom, bite the bullet. That means when they need to do something undesirable. Bite the bullet means when they need to do something undesirable. The phrase's origin refers to wounded soldiers literally biting down on a bullet to avoid screaming during wartime operations. So, this bite the bullet phrase, the phrase bite the bullet has been taken from the origin, which refers to the wounded soldiers literally biting the bullets to avoid the screaming during wartime operations. That common occurrence from the past resulted in a phrase we still use today. These phrases are simple, are also unique to their language of origin. In other words, English idioms are different from Spanish, or Spanish idioms are different from French idioms. So every language has their own unique idioms. So if you take the idioms in Telugu language, the idioms in Telugu language are completely different from the idioms that you find in English language. So what makes idioms difficult? So the students often think that idioms are very difficult to understand. Right. The answer is their meaning. So because of their meaning, we think that idioms are very difficult. Idioms are not easy to understand, especially for non-native speakers, because their meanings are usually metaphorical. This characteristic of idioms makes them strange and difficult to understand for English learners. So, because of the meaning to their origin, they are understood by the native speakers. So, that makes the idioms difficult. Now, why do people use idioms? So, generally, if you take the writer's perspective, the writers use the idioms to add color to their writing, while others are adamant about keeping their text as simple as possible. Few writers, they do not make their text simple, but they want to add some color by using the idioms. Since knowledge is power, let us take a look at the best way to accomplish how to use the idioms in our day-to-day life. Have you understood what is idiom? So let me tell you again. An idiom is an expression with a figurative meaning that differs from the literal meaning. People generally use the idiom other than its literal meaning. So that is the figurative meaning. We hear idioms every day, both in conversation and in the media. If the idioms are used correctly, they can amplify messages in a way that draws the reader's attention, and they also helps to awaken their senses. When somebody is giving a speech, what do the audience do? Generally, they are not alert. They want to sleep. But to awaken their senses, what does the speaker do? He uses idioms. By making use of the idioms, he makes the audience awaken. But what is the purpose of these idioms? Why always people use idioms? Idioms express complex ideas in a simple way. With the help of using idioms, we can make any complex idea in a simple way. Idioms can help express a large or abstract idea in a way that is easy to understand. So if an idea is abstract, by using the idioms, we can make it easy to understand. For example, you could say that two things are impossible to compare to one another because they possess different meanings or different traits. Or you could simply say that it is like comparing apples to oranges. So this abstract idea you can simply say by using the idiom comparing apples to oranges. That means comparing two different, completely the ideas with two different traits or two different meanings. In this case, the use of an idiom helps to express the same idea in a much simpler way. By using this idiom, you can make the idea, you can explain the idea in a simpler way. Idioms add humor to your writings or to your speaking. Idiomatic expressions can help transform flat description with the help of a funny turn of phrase. For instance, rather than describing someone as being not very smart, you could say that he is not the sharpest tool in the shed. He is not the sharpest tool in the shed. This kind of idiom is used to describe someone as being not very smart. The person, if you want to describe a student who is not very smart, so instead of using this, simply you can say he is not the sharpest tool in the shed, or not the brightest star in the sky. Not the brightest star in the sky is possess the similar meaning as not the sharpest tool in the shed. That means the person is not very smart. In addition to conveying that the subject in question is not intelligent, the inherent comparison of a person's brain to a toolbox or a star is unexpected and humorous. So by comparing the person who is not intelligent, we can compare that person's brain with a toolbox or a star. Is unexpected and it gives humor. And the use of idioms helps to keep your reader stimulated. By inserting an idiomatic phrase into your writing, you force the reader to shift from thinking literally to abstractly. This can help keep the reader stay focused and excited, as they must activate a more conceptual part of their brain in order to understand the idiom's meaning. By describing someone taking on a large task than they may have been prepared for, as biting off more than they can chew. So this is the idiom we can use to describe someone taking on a larger task than they might possess the capacity. Biting off more than they can chew. You encourage your readers to conjure a visual image in their head. So by using this idiom, the reader can frame a mental image of biting a person more than that he can chew, which will help them to keep engaged in your writing or in your speech. So even in speaking, even in your speech, you can keep the reader, keep the audience stimulated for your usage of idioms. It establishes a point of view. Especially in writing, idioms are often used to express commonly shared or universal ideas. There are often dozens of idioms that apply to the same concept. However, depending on which idiom you choose, you can convey an entirely different attitude about the subject about which you are writing. For example, there may be different idioms that express the concept of death. If you were to write that someone passed away, you are using an idiom to describe death in a graceful, delicate way. Alternatively, you could say that a person kicked the bucket. So this idiom, kicked the bucket, is an alternative to use the phrase passed away. So passed away, by using passed away, you are saying harsher way, or it is a cruder way of describing the act of dying. So instead of using that harsher and cruder way of describing, you can use kicked the bucket. Though both idioms ultimately mean the same thing, they convey completely different attitude towards the death. So here these passed away and kicked the bucket, these are the both are idioms. They ultimately mean same thing, but the attitude, they possess different attitude towards the death. So here kicked the bucket is more taking the death an easy act. And idioms help to evoke a specific region. Certain idioms are unique to different areas of the world. For example, the dog won't hurt is a common idiom in the southern United States. What is that? The dog won't hurt. The dog won't hurt is a common idiom in southern United States. What does that mean? Something does not work or something does not make sense is the meaning of that dog won't hurt. On the other hand, if someone were to refer to a mess or a dog's dinner, this dog's dinner idiom is very common in British. Okay, and idioms help to think out of the box. Whatever idiom you use, it helps the people to think out of the box. Incorporating idioms is an effective way to make your speech more creative or your writing more effective. This is because an idiom can be used as an artistic expression. For example, if you are working on an article related to financial planning, you could say you should save your money. Simply you say you should save your money. Or you could use an idiom such as a penny saved is a penny earned. So this is the idiom which means you should save your money. A penny saved is a penny earned. This idiom livens up the text and prompts the persons to think beyond the facts and about saving money in a different way. By not spending money, you are really saving money. Another example of a creative idiom that helps to expand our frame of reference is to bite off more than you can chew. So this I already told you in the previous example. When using this phrase in a sentence, you are essentially telling someone that perhaps they have taken on a bigger task than they can handle. If they have chosen a bigger task than that they can handle, this kind of idiom can be used. Bite off more than you can choose. This idiom gives the sentence more charm, while also provides a dynamic visual. You can visualize the concept. It conveys your message well and makes it more interesting for your audience or for your readers. Idioms help to find out sense of humor. Idioms add humor to your speaking or to your writing. For example, rather than writing about a character who is not smart or at least not thinking straight, you could say, the lights are on but nobody's home, or he is not playing with a full deck. These idioms tend to be softer and somewhat less insulting. Similarly, when pigs fly is a more dynamic way to say that something is highly unlikely to occur. Something highly unlikely to occur. To express this concept, we can use a dynamic way by saying a idiom when pigs fly. Rather than saying that someone is not very good at something, you could say, don't give up your day job. Don't give up your day job. And finally, another purpose of idioms is they dress to impress. There are quite few idioms that can take dull speech or dull writing and make it more impressive, which used in the right context will serve the audience or writers well. For example, using add insult to injury. This is an idiom, add insult to injury, which sounds just a bit more impressive than telling someone that they are making a situation worse by their mockery. Add insult to injury means someone that they are making a situation worse by their mockery. Mockery means satire, comedy. So with the help of their comedy, they are making the situation more worse. So in order to tell this, we can say add insult to injury. Instead of telling someone that they have no manners, you can say they have not a spark of decency. So saying they have no manners is rude, so harsh. So if you say somebody that you don't have manners, they might feel some inconvenience. They might feel that you are rude. But instead of saying that, you can say not a spark of decency. You don't have a spark of decency. The meaning is same. You don't have manners, but you are saying in more polite way, in more decent way. When you want to tell someone that you agree with someone, when you want to tell a person that you will agree with that person, perhaps you could say that see eye to eye. It is an idiom, see eye to eye. So it will dress up your expression, but that you want to agree with that person. Does this happen very rarely? Does this happen very rarely? So this can be said as once in a blue moon. So once in a blue moon is an idiom which means happening very rarely. So this kind of idioms will help your speech or writings to impress the persons. When you are speaking, keep or writing, keep a list of idioms handy so you can draw from that list and incorporate these sayings into your writings or into your speech wherever it is appropriate. Be careful not to go overboard. Too many idioms can be a distraction. So go not to go overboard. Go overboard is another idiom which means many will distract. Too many cooks spoils the broth. This is another idiom which means the same. Also be sure that you know the correct meaning of the idiom before you use it in your speech. Not using it in the right context can confuse the readers and turn some of them bored. Trust me, it is easier than you think to incorporate idioms into your writing. Once you get familiar with a list of common idioms, you will discover that you are already known many of them. And getting them on paper will be a piece of cake. So this kind of idioms will help you in your speech or in your writing. So now here I am going to give you some common idioms and how these idioms can be useful and what are the common examples to use these idioms. The first one is a hot potato. A hot potato is a common idiom. It is a simple one. You can remember very easily this idiom, which means a controversial issue or situation that is awkward or unpleasant to deal with. When you are facing a controversial situation or unpleasant situation to deal with, you can say a hot potato. For example, the subject of bullying and fighting in my school is a hot potato. Okay? A hot potato means any subject which several folks are talking about and which is frequently argued. It is a problem or situation that is difficult to deal with and causes a lot of disagreement. I will give you few more examples. The issue of gun control is a political hot potato in the United States. The legality of abortion is a hot potato in many countries around the world. I never discuss about anyone's religion. It can be a hot potato. So when you want to discuss about one's religion, it leads to controversy. So we can say that it can be a hot potato. So nowadays we can, if you want to discuss about the Babri Masjid Ram Janmabhoomi issue, so that is related to religion. So that issue can be a hot potato. So this idiom, a hot potato, is a term originated in the mid 18th century, and it is derived from the slightly older term to drop like a hot potato. To drop like a hot potato was the older version of this idiom. That means to abandon something or someone quickly. And the next common idiom that we are going to learn is a piece of cake. A piece of cake. which means something that is easy to do. If any assignment is given to you by your teacher, which is very easy, the teacher can say, it is a piece of cake, you can do it. It is like a piece of cake, you can do it. Here I have given one example. Learning English is a piece of cake if you practice it daily. Learning English is a piece of cake if you practice it daily. So piece of cake means very easy task. It is something easily done or very simple work. You can do that work without any preparation, or simple job. We can do it straightforwardly. Let me tell you some more examples. Don't worry, Rahul, this job interview will be a piece of cake for you. You can suggest your friend, you can encourage your friend simply by saying this sentence. Don't worry, Rahul, this job interview will be a piece of cake for you. You have all the skills they need, and I think you are absolutely the best candidate. So this kind of encouragement by using these idioms will encourage the person. They said the test would be difficult, but it was a piece of cake. I will pass with no problem at all. So like this we can use a piece of cake idiom, which means very easy, or the task can be done in a simple way. So there is an interesting fact about the origin of this idiom. It is believed that this phrase was invented in the 1870s during slavery in southern states of America. As a part of a dance organized by slave owners, black slaves would compete in cakewalks, performing a dance which imitated and subtly mocked the elaborate and gestures of the white slave owners. The most elegant couple or team would be given a cake as an award. It seems that the white slave owners did not understand that they were being mocked in these elaborate cakewalk dances, and took great delight in watching their slaves about their refined behavior. The piece of cake that was awarded as the prize to the best couple or team came to be known among the blacks as something very easy to obtain. So there are few synonyms to this idiom. As easy as pie. As easy as pie. Child's play. So we can use another idiom which is synonymous to a piece of cake is child's play. A snap. A walk in the park. A walk in the park is also synonymous to a piece of cake. Now, have you understood about this idiom? Now, coming to the next one, once in a blue moon, which means very rarely, once after a long time. So, we can use this idiom when you want to say after a long time, something that happens very seldom, very rarely, on rare occasions, or almost never. If an event never happens or very rarely happens, you can say that once in a blue moon. The examples are: the earthquakes hits once in a blue moon in this part of the earth. I go to visit my grandfather only once in a blue moon. He lives in a remote farmhouse. I think my grandson does not love me anymore. He comes to see me only once in a blue moon. My dad is working in Delhi and he visits home once in a blue moon. So these are the various sentences we can use this idiom. Okay, the concept behind the origination of this idiom is rare appearance of the full moon in same month. Blue moon is the full moon that appears second time in the same calendar. So in the same calendar, when the same month, the full moon appears twice, and this phenomenon happens only once in 32 months. Apart from that, sometime the full moon appears to be different in color, especially blue and orange, and bigger in size. So out of this concept, this idiom has been originated once in a blue moon. So coming to the next idiom, a bed of roses. A bed of roses means easy option. Choosing an easy option, a comfortable position or happy situation, effortless situation or happy situation. To suggest this meaning, you can use a bed of roses. Or a trouble-free living. You are leading a happy life, or if you are living without any troubles, we can use this idiom, a bed of roses. A policeman's job is not a bed of roses, because policemen involved in many difficult tasks. That's why their job is not a bed of roses. Another example, taking care of my younger sister is no bed of roses. She is very silly. She is very naughty. It is very difficult for me to handle her. So that's why taking care of my younger sister is no bed of roses. Let me tell you a few more examples. She found that taking care of old parents was not a bed of roses. Making money is not a bed of roses. So wake up early and go to work. The life of the royal family is a bed of roses. The life of the kings is a bed of roses. My friend told me that he wants to live a bed of roses without hard work, winning the jackpot. So these are the different examples. So let me tell you how this bed of roses, this idiom came into originated. Actually, this word, this idiom, a bed of roses, was originated in England, and it is quite an old expression. One of the earliest examples can be found in a poem called The Passionate Shepherd to His Love. It is written by Christopher Marlowe. The Passionate Shepherd to His Love. It is a poem which was written by Christopher Marlowe. So this bed of roses is found in his poetry. And one more, coming to the next idiom, raining cats and dogs. So the literal meaning of this idiom is, you can see cats and dogs raining. So in the rain you can observe cats and dogs. Is it possible? No. So it is only the literal meaning. But we use this idiom metaphorically to express the heavy rain, If the rain is, it is raining very heavily, we can use the idiom raining cats and dogs. Too much heavy rain, very heavily raining. The rain is very tremendous. If you want to use this kind of expressions, you can use the idiom raining cats and dogs. Example, I wanted to go to play outside, but it was raining cats and dogs yesterday. So, since 2 days, it has been raining cats and dogs. The entire Warangal city was in floods, was in water because of raining cats and dogs since 3 days. It's raining cats and dogs. I am worried about how my children will reach home. It rains cats and dogs when the monsoon comes in India. Another example, how will you go to play cricket today? It's raining cats and dogs. So these are the different examples. Let me tell you the origin of this idiom. It is a peculiar expression from the 17th century with uncertain origins. While we can't be sure who coined the phrase first or what it originally meant, it probably not because the beloved pets fell from the sky. It is prominent that in almost every major dialect of English, this idiom is observed. It is very common. It has roots from England to United States and Canada. And even in the multilingual country like India, we use this idiom. Okay, coming to the next idiom, when pigs fly. When pigs fly means something that will never happen. Something that will never happen. To express this, we use when pigs fly. Something that is impossible to happen. That is also meaning of pigs when pigs fly. Or some highly unlikely to happen. The synonyms of this idiom is pigs might fly or flying pig. We can use flying pig or pigs might fly. These are the variants of the idiom. Example is, William will keep quiet only when pigs fly. William will keep quiet when nothing will happen or when it is impossible to happen. I think he will pay you back your money when pigs fly. I think I'll start working on my project from tomorrow. Yes, and pigs might fly. That means that is an impossible thing to do your project. So let me tell you next idiom, that is the devil's advocate. Devil's advocate, which means one who presents a counter argument. One who presents a counter argument. One who argues against something just for the sake of arguing without actually being committed to the views. So if somebody argues against just for the sake of arguing, so in that case we can call devil's advocate. When one who puts forward arguments against a proposition, even if they may actually agree with it, simply to test the validity of the proposition. The example is, Hey Jack, you're always playing devil's advocate. Give it a rest and mind your own business. And there are few more examples. I agree with you. I agree with what you say, but I will play devil's advocate so that you can cover all the possibilities that may arise. And the next one is miss the boat. So which means missing the chance. So if you miss a chance to attend a job interview, or if you miss to attend the exam, you can use this idiom, miss the boat. The example, you can also use miss the bus also. So that is one more idiom synonymous to this miss the boat. Instead of miss the boat, you can use miss the bus. Miss a chance, or being too slow to take advantage of an opportunity, to lose an opportunity, or to miss out on something. So these are all the different meanings of this miss the boat. Example, he missed the boat when he did not apply for the job in the right time. He missed the boat when he did not apply for the job in the right time. Next idiom is apple of eye. Apple of eye means someone very precious, or someone who is dear. When you like someone, you can say apple of eye. Example, every kid in the world is the apple of eye, apple of their parents' eye. We use this apple of eye when you love a person extremely, most favorite person, or someone most cherished above others. If someone is very precious, you can use this word, apple of eye. She has 3 children, but her youngest son is the apple of her eye. While my grandmother loved all of us very much, my younger brother was the apple of her eye. Then the next idiom is zip your lip. So what is the literal meaning of this? Is there any literal meaning for this? Can you put a zip to your lip? Zip means closing. That means to stop talking. When you are talking too much, anybody can say zip your lip. Example, I don't want to hear another sound out of you. Now do as you are told and zip your lip. That means to stay calm, to stay silent, or to remain secret. Why don't you just zip your lip? You are talking too much. The politician asked them all to zip their lips as he wanted to state his point first. So this is the idiom which means to stop talking. The other synonym to this is the none of your lip. None of your lip is the synonym to zip your lip. Okay, that's all for today. Let me give you a recap. So in this video lesson, I explained about idioms. What is the meaning of an idiom? Idiom is a combination of 2 or more words which literally means different, which the meaning of which is different from its literal meaning. And we have seen the purpose of using the idioms, how the idioms are helpful when you talk or when you write. And we have learned 10 common idioms in this lesson. In addition to these 10, in the introduction I told you many other idioms. So let me quickly tell the idioms that I explained in this lesson. Or like when pigs fly, and a hot potato, a piece of cake, which means child's play. And one more idiom, bed of roses, raining cats and dogs, when pigs fly, is devil's advocate, miss the boat, apple of eye, and zip your lip. So these are the very common idioms. If you have a set of idioms handy, you can use them in your day-to-day conversation, which will make your speech or conversation more attractive. So try to learn the idioms and use in your speech or conversations. Thank you very much for listening to the video.